welcome to our first keynote here at Relativity Fest. We have already had a phenomenal day one yesterday as we celebrated our Innovation Award winners. Give me a cheer if you were at our awards. Huge congratulations to Mike and Blair for doing such a phenomenal job, but to all of our nominees and winners as well. And I am so excited today that we're going to be announcing some brand new innovations that will truly change the game for every single one of you. Today is a really exciting morning. Innovation is at the very heart of this community. With so many brand new technologies continuing to converge, it's really imperative that we are thoughtful and intentional about how we bring these things alive. And of course, there are a couple of words that are on the tip of everyone's tongue, including artificial intelligence and generative AI. That's why here at Relativity, we have created some AI principles. We've created them for you, alongside you. We've done this so that it will guide our decisions and our actions, so that with transparency and integrity, you know what we're doing and why we are doing it. Now, before we welcome CEO Phil Saunders onto the stage, we thought that we would bring this alive in typical Relativity fashion. You know that we like to have a little fun with it. Over the next 2 days, we are going on a journey together. So in that spirit, the team have taken a little time to create a pre-flight safety style video that helps bring these concepts alive so that we can truly understand what they mean to you day and daily. So as we depart on this journey, passengers, strap yourselves in. Doors to manual and cross-check. Roll VT.
It's an interesting time. Artificial intelligence. Equal part exciting and, I don't know, terrifying? It's probably both. The important thing is we know the promise of AI in data discovery. We also get the risk. So no surprise we talk a lot about responsible AI. But what does that really mean? It means 6 things. 6 important principles that guide our work with you.
Every single AI system that Relativity creates is fit for purpose. Because fit helps. Helps you with a specific legal problem. Helps you with a specific compliance problem. Because our fit is tailored to deliver value.
Because the only way for our AI to help you is to build it with you.
You know, it's important that we empower our community with clarity and control, because ultimately, you have to defend your results and be comfortable with the process. And that's why we talk to you, our customers, about why the model is built, how it was trained, and how it makes decisions.
Because understanding the way it works helps us dial in the results, illuminating the black box.
I love it. And hey, no AI, including our own, is perfect. But we document our processes and we engage our community to make sure we manage it just right, a way you can trust.
We ensure fairness is front and center in our AI development because the responsible use of AI promotes more equitable outcomes. We carefully consider the fair treatment of our community and really anyone who could be impacted, like parties of a litigation or an investigation.
We strive to make our models as equitable as possible, so we seek out a lot of diverse perspectives. We use those perspectives to test for bias, and when we find it, we pause. We think through mitigations, document them, and let you know.
We champion privacy throughout the AI product development lifecycle. Privacy is the default setting in our products. It's fully embedded in our design process. We make use of data minimization in the models we train, which means that we use personal data transparently and only to the extent necessary. What's more, we have operational, contractual, and security safeguards on every step of the process.
Security. It's a cultural thing for us. Relativity's in-house team, Culture 7, works around the world and around the clock to protect your environment. Our comprehensive tactics and relentless focus means that you can trust us with your data and the AI that runs on it.
We act with a high standard of accountability. Every model we make gets an extensive peer review. We validate each one using a representative set of use cases to make sure we're meeting your expectations.
Does this one look okay?
Oh, yes. Lovely.
And accountability isn't just an AI principle. It's a Relativity core value. We're all empowered to do what's needed, to do what's right. And what's right is building AI you can trust. Reliable output, well documented, that you can understand and defend.
We're building something here, you and me. And principles are the blueprints, our foundation, a way to deliver more value and to make your work more productive and defensible. Because it certainly ain't getting any easier. So, what do you say? Let's get to work.
One more time for the team who did such an amazing job bringing that together. Relativity know how to get these things across. So we know we're embarking on a journey together. So I think it's about time that you met your pilot. Please welcome to the stage CEO Phil Saunders. How are you? Welcome.
Hey everyone, nice to see everyone.
So,
Mr. Mead, nice to see you.
It is great to see you. Phil, you and I have worked together for about 10 years now.
Too long.
Yeah, you can see all of the years on his face. He's 29, but it's been a tough 10 years.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I can tell, though, you've never been more fired up.
This is a really exciting moment. Thanks for bringing us here together, and thanks for being part of the Relativity journey.
Look, I can tell that, in this day and age, it would be easy to do these events online or to have this as an email, but I know how passionate you are about bringing this community together to engage in real conversations.
It changes everything. Us being together one-on-one, one with many, it is a dynamic that you cannot get on a Teams or a Zoom box. I am so happy to be here with all of you. Except you.
I know. Don't worry, I got it.
Sorry, that was a joke, everyone.
So I also know that we've got some big announcements coming today.
Yes.
How excited are you about the next 12 months?
I think I share the same excitement as our team here, our colleagues, both at Relativity and in our community. I think you're going to be really wowed, not just by the keynote from our product team, but the events throughout the day and tomorrow. So let's just see.
I think it's about time. We should mark this with a selfie, Phil, because I don't know about you. Yes, because it's still 1997 in my head. Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone, I want you to go wild and crazy Relativity style in 3, 2, 1. Yeah! There we go. We have never looked better.
Yes,
have a great time.
Have
fun. Phil Saunders, everyone.
Again, really good to be here. I'd like to begin with a couple of things. One is, I'm a big coffee guy, and I love my Relativity mug. Do you like my Relativity mug? Yes. It's called Mug Envy. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll try to get you one if you want one. But thanks for letting me have it up here on stage. I'd ask that you consider our next 15 or 20 minutes or so not as a keynote, because really the keynote is all about our product direction and some of the things that you should be expecting from us in the coming weeks and months. But this is between you and I more of a conversation. So let's just have a conversation. And when I think about this particular moment, I think about the various folks in the room from, yes, in the United States, but as far as South Africa, India, Australia, of course, throughout Europe. Thank you very much for making the trip here. It's something that means a lot, not just to your fellow Relativians here in the room, but I think to your fellow colleagues. Now, I'm not sure about you, but when I saw the number 1793, it struck a bell with me. I'm like, wow, it sounds like a pretty important year. So I took out my phone, and as Relativians know, I like to Google. I'm a big Googler. And so I'm like, Google, what happened in 17? It must be something I can share with our audience. So I have a couple of things I'd just like to kick off with, in our conversation. The Constitution of Vermont is adopted. Interesting. Here's an interesting one. The breakout of a particular fever, the yellow fever epidemic, that broke out in 1793 and killed 5,000 of 50,000 people in Philadelphia and then spread throughout the country. Yeah, I thought that was a really uplifting comment. And then, to top it all off, after the French Revolution, there was a particular King Louis XVI, I believe, who was guillotined for treason. So anyway, I would say that was an idea that I probably should have kept to myself, but I felt in the spirit of transparency, I would just tell you what I was thinking. These are moments that matter, and in case you haven't known this, I'm the new guy on the team. I've been here with the company since last December, and it's been a heck of a journey, trying to understand as quickly as I can what it is we do here at Relativity, why we exist, and understanding the ecosystem that we all live in. It's been a very personal journey for me. I'm not sure if you've ever had those moments in life, whether it be in school or at a party, and there's some sort of team activity, a basketball team or a baseball team or some sort of activity, and you're on the sideline and you really want to get picked. I haven't gotten picked early on. And so I really wanted to be picked here. And now, after several months of being part of this team, with all the thanks due to people in the room and people around the world, not just fellow Relativians, you've made me feel part of the team. You've let me in into this community, and you're teaching me, you're ramping me up so that I can do the very best I can do to deliver back to our community. So I just wanted to begin and end the entire thing by saying thank you. So if I don't say thank you again, please mark this as a thank you so I don't get yelled at later. That would be really appreciated. Now, in the spirit of making things personal, I came up with the phrase Forever Festies. Maybe I'm on the Swiftie thing, I don't know. But I thought it was kind of cool at 2 in the morning, so thanks Winona and Grace for letting me use Forever Festies. There are 4 individuals that are in the room that have made it to every Relativity Fest. This would be the 14th Relativity Fest, started in 2010. So I just want to do a quick shout out to Jim, Lizzle, Mark, and Matthew for thanking them for being Forever Festies and for your commitment. Well, there's one more. There's one more. I don't have a slide for the person because, well, I don't think they need a slide. There is one person that actually kicked this all off in 2010 and had this idea of something that was so much bigger than any particular vendor, company, vendor, partner, customer thing. It was about an ecosystem and a community. And so I just want to do a quick shout out, not to keep my job or to preserve my board seat, but to shout out to Andrew Sasia for thanking him for pulling this all off and allowing me and the rest of us to celebrate our 14th year. Thanks, Andrew. Here at Relativity, we're about 1,550 people globally. And we have a phrase that we've been using a fair amount in our one-on-ones, in our team meetings, and even our all hands. And it's a phrase called you, me, we. Yeah, I know it's not super sophisticated. It's probably not as cool as Forever Festies, but it means something. It means something about, it's not about you or about me, it's about us. And about the impact that we can make when we combine efforts. We can literally change trajectory and course of not just our market, but literally the world. And I really believe that. It's dare I say it, a living, breathing organism. It's not a bag full of assets. It's a bunch of, it's an organism. It has vitals. It has blood work. And I think just like any other living organism, you can actually test and verify, is Phil telling the truth? Are we really a thing? And so I started digging through the numbers because I think numbers would tell the truth. And the truth is, over the past 20 years, across our 3 core platforms in Relativity Server, Relativity One, and Relativity Gov, look what you've built. This is not a Relativity Weird Flex thing, folks. This is what you all have done on our platform together. We have almost 70 petabytes of data across hundreds of thousands of users and workspaces across almost 140 partners, 140 application developers, and over 39 countries. Again, it's not about Relativity, it's about the folks in this room. It's our ecosystem, it's our market, and this verifies that our foundation as a community is damn strong. Think about what's happening in our market with the ever-changing merger and acquisitions, consolidations, changing in platforms. Relativity's been doing this longer, and is more persevering, more resilient with a hard-ass foundation that no other company has, and I'm super proud to be part of it. Because a strong foundation allows you to stick a house. It allows you to grow something from your base. And when I look at over just the past 12 months, namely over the last 9 or 10, we've grown data on Relativity 1 particularly, 59% year on year. You all as community users of our platform are leveraging processing at a 90% clip of the folks that are touching our platform. Same goes for automated workflows. The technologies that we're creating, you're putting to work, putting to use, making it better, giving us ample feedback, thank you, and then putting it to work so that you can achieve more efficient and stellar outcomes. Let alone our AI work solutions where you've put through 1.5 billion documents. This is a level of proof that we have something here that is stable, persevering, and growing. Does anyone know who this is? Come on, give me a shout out. It's Uncle Ben. A Spider-Man fan. 1,793 people and one Spider-Man fan? Seriously. So I'm not sure if you remember the first Spider-Man, well, not the first, but the most recent first, you know what I mean. Where Uncle Ben turns to Spider-Man and says, with great power comes great responsibility. And I say that about us. I would say if you looked at the past 2 slides and looking at the house, the foundation that we're building together, that's something so persevering, there's a lot of power in that. But with that power comes responsibility. And I think we would all say this, I really do believe this, because this community is so unique, that I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning and I meditate or I pray, there's a couple of things I think about. I think about trying to be a better human being, because I could always do better there, and try to make a positive impact. Try to make a long-lasting positive impact. It's part of my mantra. Maybe it is yours. If it's not, you might want to try it. It's good for the soul. But when I think about our shared purpose, when I think about that great power that we all have together, here at Relativity, what I think is so unique about the business is that 3 years ago, 2 initiatives were kicked off by our prior CEO, Mike Gamson, that I'm glad to take full credit for, by the way. Created Justice for Change, which is a program that now has over 100 justice-related matters, pro bono work, to help people that are not getting the support and legal efforts they require. We also have our Relativity Fellows program, which really looks to find the talent in overlooked communities. I mean, what a powerful thing that is. And we have 30 folks here today with us that came out of the Relativity Fellows program. 24 are going to be working for Relativity, and 6 will be working for some of our partners. Super proud of that. And last but definitely not least is our program where we are actually investing in the Chicago public school system. We've done this, Andrew Saja started this. Woo! We started this 10 years ago. Andrew Saja kicked this off. We're putting several $100,000 into the system to provide technology and the resources required to amp up the capabilities of students. And we have the Corliss early college, high school team with us today. If you see them, give them a yell. Now, I know there's a particular individual by the name of Janice. Where's Janice? She's here somewhere. Janice is going to be really proud of me because she thought I was going to forget to mention our academic partners. Janice is really engaged with universities, helping students that are either going for paralegal or law and educating them on relativity. So when they come out of university, they can actually have something certifiable, capable on their resume. And I just want to give a shout out to, I believe, the 23 academic partners, some of which I had breakfast with this morning. So nice seeing you all, and thanks for being here. And, you know, in the world of such a polarizing time, and we all know it is, and by the way, I'm not going to talk politics, you just don't do that with 1,793 people. But in the world that's so polarizing of right and wrong and left and right, I think we lose sight of the fact that the word "and" allows for us to not make hard choices, but to agree that both things can be true at the same time. And when I joined the company a little over 9 months ago, there was a lot of ors. By the way, not because relativians are bad or there's a deep, dark secret somewhere. It's because it's easier to get focused when you make a decision on an or. But I'm here to tell you that there's certain ands that are just undeniably true. And I have a bunch of them. I'll give you a couple fun ones just to warm you up. Like a burger and fries. I mean, how is that not a confluence of perfection? Another one, rock and roll. I mean, okay, so I think I proved my point. I think I get the W. We good there? A couple good ones? Stayed up all night thinking about that second one. So here at Relativity, I'm going to give you 3. And these are not controversial. They're just darn true. Number 1, let's just get this out of the way. Relativity Server and Relativity 1 and Gov. Relativity Server and Relativity 1 and Gov. And I say and because I think over the years, we are rightly having conviction around what is true north. And it is undeniable that cloud-native, cloud-powered Relativity 1 is undeniably true north. It's not about relativity. It's about like landscape of technology. It's just true. However, but we have hundreds of thousands of workspaces and matters that you're all still, not you all, many of you are still relying upon server for. And I'm here to tell you that our job is to bring you on a glide path to Rel 1 when it's damn good and ready for you. In the meantime, make sure that we continue to provide you the best damn product, whether it be on-prem or in the cloud, so that you can go do your work. So that's an and. Are we clear on that first and? Awesome. The second and, partner and customer. Another weird one, right? We are so customer-centric. There's so many customers here across law firms and corporations and institutions. These are very important relationships for us. But let's also realize that 37% of the people in the room here today are partners. And these partners, triangulated with our technology, with the customer, are providing value-added capabilities that we as a software company are ahead of our skis on. We are reliant upon our partner-centric approach in serving the best interests of our customers. Both things can be true. We can be customer and partner-centric. Third and last, customer experience and innovation. You want a highly performant, kick-ass product that works like a champ, and you want innovation. And so customer experience and innovation is an and. We can't have a really awesome product and not innovate, and we certainly can't continue to innovate when we got bugs and issues here so that your workflows don't work the way you want them. Two things can be true at the same time, and we're dialed in to these 3 ands. That makes sense so far? Thank you. So let me talk about customer and partner experience. When I joined the company in December, does anyone know the show Columbo? I know I'm dating myself. Columbo? Big brown jacket, cigar, walking around, sort of like a doofus, that would be me, and asking a lot of questions, trying to find the truth. And over the course of the first couple of months, I came to this aha moment, this eureka moment that said, holy shit. While we're growing so much, we are seeing an increase, whether we like it or not, in the number of incidents our customers are having, and our ability to respond in a timely fashion, to not just to respond, but to resolve. And listen, we can talk about the sheer growth of our business, and that's why the numbers have been increasing, but it's a bad answer. Because the idea really should be that you should be able to go a week, a month, a quarter, several quarters, without having to ring Relativity because something's not working right. Good for you, good for us. It's good for we. And so we have work to do here, and I will tell you that over the past several months, we've had a dialed-in focus as Relativians on this issue. And that care is showing up in the numbers. We have seen a 27% reduction in incidents on Relativity Server, 23% reduction of incidents on Relativity 1, and an average of a 50% increase or reduction in our ability to respond in a timely fashion. Folks, it's progress, and I'm really proud of it. It's not enough. So I just wanted to call out that A, we're aware, we care about your journeys, we're making progress and we're dialed in, but we have more work to do. I just wanted to be clear on that. I didn't want to leave this conversation without touching on it. Okay, evolving. I love the word evolving because it's a really polite word for us softies, because we're getting soft at times, instead of using the word change. Evolution, evolving, it just feels better. It's more organic. It's like pasture raised or line caught. It feels really healthy. no idea where that came from. So our landscape is changing, folks. It is undeniable. It's not just the surge of more data. We saw that on one of the other slides. But when you take a look at what's happening, and these are sort of dummy graphs, but they're reflected on real numbers. I just took out the numbers because I'm trying to be really mysterious. We have seen a 105% increase in 3 data formats combined: audio, video, and short message. Undeniable. Over the last 11 months, 105% increase. And on the right, just when you unpack that data and look at short message, a 305% year-over-year increase, not just in count, but in gigabit. So, folks, our landscape is changing. How we think about the investments here at Relativity to properly serve you need to be inclusive of thinking about how we re-architect our solutions, our workflows for your workflows, so that you can have an awesome experience. Now, when you think about change, we know it's necessary. There's a colleague of mine, JC. JC's here somewhere. I kept on using change ready, and he didn't seem to like it, so he said stable change, Phil, stable change. Well, I use change ready. It's one of the few weird flexes I get. I get the right words on my slide. Well, Winona can write them. So change ready, and what I mean by that is, in order to change, in order to pivot, a logical pivot, you need to have a solid footing. Otherwise, what happens? You slip and you fall. And so on the left side of the screen are things that just have to be damn true. You have to rely upon us as a company that's been doing this for a really long time, that you can rely upon us to make sure that security and trust is in place, even when we have a vulnerability, because we have them just like every other software company, right? So you should be able to rely upon us to have an open platform so that our customers and our partners can get really awesome, complex innovations in their own customizations on the platform. And we saw that in our Innovation Award yesterday, with over 200 submissions and 8 awards and 1 Spirit of Innovation Award. I mean, it's really amazing what folks are using our open platform for. And third and certainly not last is this. It's the we thing. I mean, that you have to rely upon. So that allows us to go tackle the right side. It allows us to address head on and the architecture of how we create solutions for you in the ever-changing world of data. It allows us to make sure that when we talk about large language models and generative AI, that you can rely upon us to do things that literally no other company can do on the planet. And third, but definitely not last, is that given all the other changes, so are the use cases, folks. So we as a company, you should be able to rely upon us, but know that we're also leaning in and pivoting with you. Now, the real meat of the keynote, this was a conversation. The real meat of the keynote is next, and it's by Chris Brown, our Chief Product Officer, and his colleagues in product. And we have a lot of folks to put in front of you, and we did that with purpose. We want to give you a sense of who's in our own community, because these are really smart, awesome people that you should know personally. And I think you're going to be really wowed about what we're doing. And by the way, there might be a little vaporware in there, right? Meaning 2024, but it's mostly here and now. And I'm really excited to introduce Mr. Chris Brown, my partner, Chief Product Officer.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. It's great to be here. With all of you again. Raise your hand. I know Phil covered this. Raise your hand if you've been out of town, if you come from out of town, not Chicago today. Wow, amazing. Keep your hands up if you're international. Man, fantastic. All right. How many folks here have been held this morning or held somebody else? Legally, I mean. Legal hold. This isn't the after party yet. Anybody do a legal hold this morning? This is product adoption questions. All right. Preserve your laughter. Preserve your applause, and defensively collect your thoughts. Because we have a lot to discuss today. Starting with something a little interactive. Knock, knock. Processing. Still processing. sorry. Just kidding. Processing is getting a ton faster. Over 1 billion files just this last month. It's amazing. And what's the deal with redoing deduplication? Seems like one misstep and you could end up in the multiverse. I get it. You guys found that funny. Over here, the crowd seemed a little bit, I'm going to have to code them as not responsive for that joke. So sorry. You guys are getting coded as not responsive. A short message, conversation, a PST file, and a video walk into a bar. It can happen. You know what the bartender said? What? I don't either, but I'd love a transcript of that conversation. All right. Wait, I'm getting this live sentiment analysis tracker of the audience here. Folks over here, generally positive, neutral, a little negative, and back in the corner, disdain, which isn't even a sentiment that we track yet, but you must be in advanced access, so definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Speaking of AI, have you heard this? So with the help of generative AI and SpaceX, Arnold Schwarzenegger is staging a comeback. He's starring in a technology-assisted review courtroom drama set in Mars. Working title, Total Precision and Recall. Now, not everything in the entertainment industry is good. Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman's new PDF production sequel to their hit Australia is only going to be distributed in, well, you guessed it, Australia, because they got into a tiff with the studios in Hollywood. It can happen. But honestly, the whole e-discovery process is getting a lot easier and a lot healthier now that the American Bar Association is partnering with the Office of the Surgeon General to recommend that opposing parties start the process with a Beyond Meat and Confer. Early results have been very positive. Now that these meetings are 100% plant-based. But still, some attorneys are finding it hard to agree on the scope of the case unless they're in Relativity 1 and using short message. So there you go. Boom, boom, boom. So why am I doing e-discovery stand-up? That's not what you came here to see me do, right? I'm applying something I learned at my last fest. And it's something all of you do as you leave this conference and you go to these other ones. I'm applying something I learned at my last fest. Now, why is that? Throughout the day, I was meeting with different colleagues and folks in our community, and one of them came up to me after our last fest and said, "Hey, Chris, I've got some constructive feedback for you. Right? I want to challenge you on something. I love what you're doing, but you got to stop reading from the slides so much. You know the material." So he said, "Hey, I love what you're doing, but try not reading from the slides." I'm like, at first I was defensive, deflecting, so that's a lot of material, etc. And I'm like, you know what? Let me shut up and listen and just take it in. I'll accept the feedback. I also got some feedback yesterday about the product in an elevator, so I just accept that feedback. Later in the evening, I was meeting with members of the community, and I bumped into another colleague who started to share her story of how she had immigrated to the United Kingdom, where English wasn't her first language, and to improve her ability to work in sales, get comfortable public speaking, she started stand-up comedy. And every week she was doing stand-up comedy in a language that wasn't her primary language to make sense of her immigrant experience and to push her career forward. And I thought that was hugely inspiring. And so there I was, challenged and now inspired. And I said, okay, how can I take these two ingredients, take it home and actually learn something? And how can I do that with a big risk and do it all in front of you? And partly that's because you guys do this all the time. And so that's just a microcosm of what Relativity Fest can do. When it's at its best, it can give you the knowledge, the encouragement, and the support to get insights, apply them, and then take those new product ideas and process ideas and bring them towards adoption. And history has shown when this whole community does that, we move the whole industry forward. And we know while we bring a lot, I'm going to talk for many minutes here about all the changes coming, all the opportunities coming. It doesn't get there without all of you adopting it. And whether you're on Relativity 1, Relativity Server, Relativity 1 Gov, and by the way, Relativity Server 2023 is now available and ready for upgrade. So please get on that. This community is tackling complex legal data challenges. You're examining all kinds of sensitive information around the world, potentially evidentiary information, and you're turning it into new levels of legal data intelligence, and you're solving new problems. My hope for you today, tomorrow, and the rest of the conference is that you will be challenged, like I was in the elevator last night. You will be inspired. You'll be curious and open to learning, and then you'll take it home and apply. Because together, we organize data, discover the truth, and act on it. Together, this community has shown we power the pursuit of justice. And together, we're just getting started. Now, since I promised this individual that I cannot read slides, I don't know where I'm going from here. Literally, no idea. But after watching the Innovation Awards yesterday, I thought I would take a cue from Blair and just do a little improv. So on the count of 3, in the zone of product or business in e-discovery, I would like the audience to yell out everything you want to hear about today, or one thing you want to hear about today. But to make this, on the count of 3, on the count of 3, I want you to yell it out in unison, and that chorus alone will be enough feedback. We'll tease it out with all the AI later, all right? So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm synthesizing a lot here. That's a great idea. Great idea. We should cover our product strategy and the roadmap, mix in some big ideas and some small creature comforts, bring up members of my team, talk to customers and partners, do some demos of the software, and then end with a big generative AI bang. That was a great idea. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but we'll give it a run. First up, we'll be talking about how we're working to empower your practice. Secondly, we're talking about how we're going to architect the future of short message discovery together. And finally, how we're transforming the reviewer and investigative experience with AI. Please welcome Hawa and Victor to get us started.
Thanks, Chris. During the course of this year, we spoke to over 100 customers. We spent a lot of time listening to understand what managing your practice means to you. Running, optimizing, and growing your practice means that every day you're focused across a range of areas. Monitoring security, managing costs, billing clients, figuring out more ways to be efficient, and expanding into new areas for your business. You are juggling a lot. In 2022, Management Console was launched in Relativity 1, and today it is growing to become your hub of practice management. As you start your day checking on your matters, and as you scroll through, you can drill down into the details of a matter in order to gather insights to answer specific questions for your team. And you can take action from there. Remember that workspace that your team accidentally deleted yesterday? Well, the partner needs it back up. The new Workspace Recycle Bin allows you to fully recover that workspace with a click of a button without having to reach out to Relativity support. You just saved a day.
So now that you saved the day, you've got to pull up and look across your entire practice. Cross-matter insights in the Management Console will give you a practice-level view across a range of use cases. One example that I'd like to share with you is the new Staging Insights report, which provides visibility into the mission-critical workflow of understanding your data in staging. With new evidence coming in every day, it's essential that you know how much is coming in, where is it going, who are the custodians. Folder and file level reporting ensure you know the where and the what of your data. And as more data comes in, you've got to stay on top of your costs so that you can drive greater value via the services that you're providing to your clients and stakeholders. We've simplified the Cost Explorer and added visibility into the usage of products such as Translate and Relativity contracts. You can monitor this usage by matter, and of course, all of this data is available via our Billing Insights API. And while Relativity is always working behind the scenes to keep your data secure, you've told us that you want more capabilities to help you manage your data security. The Security Center proactively alerts you to events such as multiple failed logins, login method changes, brute force attempts. And now, with just a click, you can resolve these alerts directly in the Security Center without having to navigate away to take manual action. And so across all of these areas and more, the Management Console will drive your practice forward. And as your practice is growing, you're adding more matters, more clients, and many of you are growing globally, adding Relativity instances across our 17 geographic regions. Our vision for the Management Console includes this full multi-instance view. And we're looking into providing visibility into your server footprint as well, as we empower you to run, optimize, and grow your practice.
That is pretty dope, Victor.
It is. It is. Dope
And
indeed.
now, to talk more about how we're innovating around organizing your data, here is Lindsay and Christian.
As you all know, the success of preparing data for review is critical for any new matter. Relativity One provides a solid framework from identification through collection to optimize your practice's specific workflows. I'm thrilled to announce that in Q1 of next year, we are launching a brand new preservation application within Relativity Legal Hold. It's fully redesigned from the ground up for ease of use, giving you the ability to preserve data from multiple sources in one project. We'll be releasing with new integrations like being able to preserve your Google data and the option to do non-custodial preservations from things like Teams channels, Google Groups, and SharePoint sites, with even more to come. Adopting Relativity Legal Hold makes it easier for you to preserve evidence, uphold your compliance obligations, and mitigate risk. We're invested in these critical capabilities for you, our customers, as well as partners who are building managed services on top of this expanding offering. And once your legal hold obligations have been met and the data is secured, you're eventually going to need to get that data into Relativity One. We're now supporting more sources than ever before in Collect, with a heavy focus on your most active data sets. We're also hard at work with our friends at Celebrite, exploring ways to reduce friction with remote mobile device collections, which you'll be hearing more about later on. Later this year, you'll have the ability to collect data directly from SharePoint sites, giving you yet another option to capture non-custodial data and ensuring completeness of evidence. And the same goes for our Relativity One Purview Sync integration, which will empower you or your client to get the most out of your Microsoft eDiscovery Premium investment. Fully orchestrated within Relativity One, you'll be able to manage matters from creation to preservation to transferring all of your relevant data into Relativity One for the most optimal review experience. And yes, this means converting your Teams chat messages to RSMF and overlaying all of that sidecar metadata into the viewer. Our customers are collecting more data than ever before. We've seen a 3x increase in data ingested year over year, and it's not just corporate adoption. Almost half of this data is coming through LSPs, law firms, and the public sector. 80% of this volume is also going directly to review workspaces, underscoring the targeted ways for you to configure your collection criteria and features like Collect Preview, which give you insights to review before starting your collections. We love this quote from Ari at Simplify, highlighting the fact that he's advising his clients to use Collect in Relativity One whenever possible, due to its ease of use, automation, and most importantly, defensibility.
As you heard from Lindsay, everything we're doing is intended to empower your practice so that you can organize data, discover the truth, and act on it. This is Relativity's mission statement, and it's meant to succinctly capture the capabilities we provide in service of the outcomes you achieve. But it's not a comprehensive statement, right? There's no organizing data that you haven't yet gathered. You don't find truth in data that doesn't exist, and when you've acted, then what? Before you organize, before you do anything else, you import your data. And the result of your actions often means exporting as well. All of the amazing things we do in Relativity are only possible if we get this right, which is why we've built from the ground up, in close collaboration with many of you in the room here today, Import-Export, a brand new product designed to be fast, easy, and automated, a product designed to advance this mission by helping you achieve your goals. And Import-Export is easy. One simple web-based workflow for structured and unstructured data workflows. No more babysitting jobs, no more context switching. Drag and drop where it's convenient, or use our express transfer capability on Mac or PC for the larger data sets. Import-Export is automated. It's fully hooked into automated workflows. It will automatically process your unstructured data. And coming soon, before the end of 2023, it will auto-map your custodians and automatically convert into RSMF your short message data like Slack. And Import-Export is fast. Upload speeds are up to 5 times faster than anything you've experienced before. And the full end-to-end import workflow, the analog to the RDC, is about 10 to 15% faster, with more improvements coming soon. And there are more improvements coming soon. Because when we talk about the speed of Import-Export, we're not just talking about how quickly we can move your data. We're talking about how rapidly we can respond to your feedback. This year alone, we've delivered over 120 new features. And what you see behind me is a taste of what's coming before the end of 2023. The one I'm most excited about is the advanced pre-check load file validations. Because the more we can do to identify issues with your jobs before they start, the smoother and faster the job will actually be. We've heard you, and we've heard that this approach is resonating. As you can see here, it's fresh, it's faster, it's easier. No other product can move petabytes of data this easily. Hundreds of you in the room have already adopted it and have run over 40,000 jobs just in the last few months. If you haven't yet adopted it, give it a try and see what you've been missing.
And now to talk about the cool ways we're extending the value of your data, here's Lindsay and Charlie.
I'm so excited to be here to talk about our Extend products today, 2 of which we're thrilled to launch this week. These products allow you to empower your practice by expanding into new business lines and optimizing existing ones. Let's start with a product that's as easy as pushing a click of a button to translate. Translate in Relativity 1 combines the power of Azure AI services with our cutting-edge viewer to provide a powerful yet simple machine translation solution like no other right in your existing workflow. And you can review all those translations, 112 language pairs, in their original native formats, not extracted text. So there's no interruption to your review groove. At launch, you adopted Translate quicker than any other Relativity solution to date. Even with tens of billions of characters already translated, you're just getting going. And I'm so excited to share that availability in Relativity Gov is just around the corner. But take it from Brad. Translate is game-changing.
Speaking of game changers, Relativity Contracts empowers you to do more and extend your current services into contract review. With a robust viewer, powerful workflows, and AI, you can transform agreements into actionable, structured data, allowing you to make smarter, faster, more favorable decisions. Let me show you how. Contracts come with pre-built machine learning models that will classify the contracts by type and identify the key clauses. This unlocks workflows like our compare tool that enables you to quickly understand the variance of those clauses across all the contracts in your data set. It's pretty awesome. Next, let me show you what the viewer looks like. On the right-hand side, you'll see the same content that was from the contract segmented by the key clauses. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the data points that are being found auto-populated into Relativity fields while being highlighted and anchored as navigation points. The last thing I wanted to quickly highlight is that in addition to the pre-built models, Relativity Contracts allows you to create your own custom machine learning models, and all done through a simple user interface and workflow. This solution is purpose-built to allow you to do more and tailor the models around your business and differentiate your services. Since our launch at ILTACON 30 days ago, we've already onboarded 30 clients, and we're so excited about the excitement and demand for contracts, and we're just getting started.
Up next, we'll hear about 2 other Extend products that are tackling the complexity of data privacy review. Here are my friends, Reed and Hannah.
As Lindsay mentioned, data privacy continues to be important for you and your clients, but the review process can be really manual and complex. In addition to the complexity, we continue to see growth in this space, with organizations increasing spend on privacy by 125% over the past 3 years. As we continue to see this rise in data privacy, we want to empower you to protect your customers' personal information. This is why we are thrilled to be offering Personal Information Detect. PI Detect leverages machine learning and natural language processing to help you find and safeguard personal information during review. The product is self-service with over 120 pre-trained AI-based detectors available across multiple languages. Throughout review, your team can rerun the models to further fine-tune your results. And the product is leveraging the latest and greatest of Relativity, including Review Center, Facade Redact, and Import-Export. Once the AI is run, the personal data is automatically highlighted across your data set, meaning that your team simply has to run a QC. And while I can say this up here on the stage, sometimes you really have to see it to believe it. Troutman participated in our early access program and were able to review at a 2x faster pace. We can't wait for you to start integrating PI Detect into your workflows too.
This year, we're experiencing a surge in data breaches around the world, even exceeding records within the United States. When these incidents occur, it's critical to respond quickly and accurately to control costs, safeguard a firm's reputation, and meet regulatory deadlines. The problem is that standard relativity workflows are not enough to mitigate breach costs effectively. However, the answer lies in harnessing the proven power of AI to deliver substantial time and cost savings. That's why we're excited to introduce Relativity Data Breach Response, an AI-powered way to manage your breach response workflows within Relativity One. Here's what it brings to the table. AI-based PI detectors, which greatly reduce review populations by cutting down false positive documents. It simplifies the review by enabling breached entities to be captured directly in the native viewer. And say goodbye to bulk spreadsheet headaches. The AI will automatically identify and extract entities from tables. Lastly, it normalizes and consolidates entity data for a swift export and notification report preparation. Now that you've heard from me, seen some stats and a demo, it's time to join the 26 customers that have already signed up to extend their businesses with this award-winning solution and accelerate breach reviews faster than ever before, all while keeping their data and their reviewers securely within Relativity One. Back to you, Chris.
Appreciate it. Let's hear from some of our customers. So PI Detect, Data Breach, and Translate are all generally available. Please welcome up Kate Johns, Manager of Knowledge and Practice Support Services at Nutter, and Chris Haley, Managing Director at Troutman, to talk about their experiences. Welcome up, folks. Thank you for joining. Get to my mark. Got to be on the mark. All right, so Kate, you and your team have had experience with contracts. Can you tell us a little bit about your initial findings?
Yeah, it's been great so far. We were looking to improve the due diligence process for our corporate team already, and we thought, let's take a look at Relativity and see if we can use that. And we were working with Heretic. We were just starting to use Heretic, so I was pleased to hear about the Relativity acquisition.
So are we.
Great,
So are we,
great,
yeah.
great. So it was a pretty easy transition for us to start using relativity contracts, and I think our corporate team has benefited from the investment that the firm has made in Relativity One, not only in the platform but in training people like me and my team to use it, so we can pivot to another practice area. And I have to say, the Relativity Contracts team has been wonderful to work with. They've been very supportive, making sure that I understand, as a litigation technician, how to use the platform, understanding the AI that we're using, and just understanding what contract review is and what the M&A attorneys are trying to do with reviewing contracts.
Awesome. Yeah, and it was thrilling to hear your attorneys are getting into it right now. So how do you think it now extends your practice? You know, what's in the future for your practice as a result?
Well, I've been surprised at how the corporate attorneys have really taken this technology and run with it. I don't think it's any secret that it can be difficult to implement a new technology to a group of attorneys and to change their workflow up a little bit, but I have been pleasantly surprised with our corporate attorneys. So I think they're just going to continue to use this. I'm a little nervous, actually, that we might need more resources because they are so interested in doing their due diligence with relativity contracts. But that's a good problem to have,
Yes.
right?
Yes, great to hear, great to hear. Thank you, Kate. So that's contracts. You guys, in the zone of privacy, Chris, your team has been testing PI Detect. What's your team's initial experience? Can you tell us more?
I think we can all agree that protecting personal information is very important, but sometimes it's really hard to do. We had the opportunity to test PI Detect over the last few weeks with a really tough data set. Medical records, old scan documents, the worst, right? And something that it would have taken us way, way longer and probably not even been able to do before. But PI Detect enabled us to quickly find it. It did a great job. We had over 70,000 elements of PI in this data set. It cut our review time in half, made it so much simpler. It went straight to redact. So it was a win-win for our clients, saved them a lot of money.
Wow, that's great to hear. And we start by solving the use case, but it's also about empowering your practice as a result. So where do you think this can go from here then?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, we all are in a lot of e-discovery and litigation, so there's a lot of low-hanging fruit, I think, in how much personal information is going out in our production. So is there a way that we could make it so efficient and easy to detect personal information that maybe when the facts are right and the case is right, that we get rid of all that stuff that's in our production? So that's one. But two, it's really been exciting for our team in thinking about all the possibilities of extending our work beyond e-discovery and data compliance and regulatory needs and all of the data privacy needs that we have today.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys both for joining me on stage. Appreciate it. Thank them. If you have questions throughout the day, go find Kate and Chris, give you their experience. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So folks, we're into stage 2, architecting the future of short message. It's no secret that short message data, conversational data is exploding, all while this data becomes some of the most consequential for all the different matters that you're dealing with. But it's been challenging. It's been really challenging to date across the entire life cycle of discovery process, from collecting from various endpoints, including mobile phones, to the various data sources and formats, myriads of those. Let's face it, a short message conversation is not a document. We'll pause there. It's not a document. As much as we try to make it behave like a document, it's not a document. As a result, there's inconsistent workflows throughout the experience. And so at Relativity, we've sought to address all those things from the very beginning with the creation of the RSMF format, but now more broadly across the entire process. And so I'll roll this video to tell you more.
We don't communicate the way we used to. What started as a fairly simple back and forth
has now expanded, accelerated, and become fragmented across many different platforms.
Following a conversation today has become quite cumbersome.
And let's face it, sometimes it's a little too much information.
Millions of documents have exploded to billions of texts, chats, collaboration comments, GIFs, and of course, emojis.
Mobile phone users alone send over 25 billion text messages every single day, with the most popular platforms serving millions, some billions of users.
More than 65% of our customers have reported short message data in their Relativity cases.
And our top 10 clients with the most short message data have, on average, more than 10 million short message data files.
There's an urgent new need to understand these billions of conversations at an individual message level.
That's why we're architecting the future of short message to empower our community for the new era of data discovery.
This end-to-end solution will transform the way you discover insights for your reviews and investigations.
So where does this transformation start?
We already support collecting chat and collaboration data from the world's leading cloud platforms.
We also already have integrations to endpoints to power collections from mobile phones.
Soon, we'll make these processes even easier and more powerful by also converting exports from mobile phones and chat applications,
including data from Celebrate, Slack, Microsoft Teams, Google Chat, and more.
You can define the time frame for the data, and then it's converted into Relativity short message format, or RSMF.
Which means you don't need to send your data somewhere else. Your data is extracted, enriched,
and published, all while staying in Relativity 1.
You'll be able to easily search for messages by the metadata and simply code individual messages.
With the ability to produce this message-level data, you'll be able to discover rich, contextual information and act on it.
Messages can be short and sweet until you have to review them by the billions.
Relativity, architecting the future of short message so you're empowered for the next era of data discovery.
All right, that's what we're. It's a big endeavor, and a little applause for that voiceover talent. My goodness, really good talent. They're unsung heroes. Folks, to recap, our whole approach is across the entire experience, starting with a collect solutions that simplify the intake of this data. We're building in a conversion service directly into processing to convert this data into RSMF. The entire architecture is built around supporting this at a message level, so we can support billions of messages well beyond documents. And then finally, coding, searching and coding at the message level. That's where we're going. To tell you more about it, I'd like to please invite up to the stage Martha Laux from McDermott. Come on up, Martha. Thank you very much for joining us. One of the preeminent experts in the field on this and has been pushing us for years. So I really appreciate you coming up here to tell us about it. So Martha, I thought first, it's one thing for me to kind of talk about the challenges. You live and breathe it every day. You could just tell us a little bit about kind of the challenge you've experienced as this data has exploded.
Yeah, I mean, to put it simply, it hurts, right? It's painful every single step of the way, from collection to formatting the stuff, processing, and really the untapped challenges of review, which I think are just going to explode as people use this more and more for business purposes.
Awesome. And as you, I know you've engaged with our team on an advanced access about around the conversion. Can you tell us a little bit about the advanced access experience and what gets you excited about where we're headed?
Yeah, so what we've been doing is using the Slack processing. It's really cool because you can directly ingest the Slack data as you've received it, so we don't have that intermediary step where we need to format the stuff. So it's cutting out some unnecessary time in our process, and more importantly, what I like is that we're able to do real processing. You know, we're not just making it look like a chat. We're actually extracting the content and doing discovery the way we know we need to do it. And we're now going to have something consistent and standardized that we can work with for the rest of the process.
Wow. Yeah. And you've had a vision for this for a while, and I know we've talked about it, and we're working on it. We even had Martha come speak to our entire engineering teams, I think less than a year ago maybe, and we've been working on it a while. And so this concept of like taking it all the way down to message level coding at the end, like what does that promise for the industry once you have access to that type of capability?
So I'm really glad that you are architecting this with an eye toward the future. I think with review, what we need to be able to do is analyze somebody's activities and thoughts in a more granular way. Right now, if we collapse somebody's activity down to 24 hours, we don't have a great way to see what they're doing minute by minute, which is how people work. We're switching every single minute from email to chat, picking up the phone and calling somebody. What we want to do is see what someone is doing. We're here to discover the facts and analyze the data, and having more granular data is going to support that. It actually is going to get us eventually where we need to go for review, and I'm excited because it will lay the foundation for better and more clever uses of artificial intelligence as we continue to integrate that stuff into our work. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Martha. Folks, if you've got questions about her experience in some of this new technology, as well as anything to do with short message, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Let's dig into how we're transforming the reviewer and investigator experience with AI. Please welcome to the stage Kyle Disterhef and Miguel Martinez.
Thanks, Chris. Well, look, Fest Chicago, when we talk about transforming the experience for investigators and review teams, first thing is first, what's the experience really like today? So our teams have been hearing a lot on this topic from you, whether it's at official events, like here at Relativity Fest Chicago, Relativity Fest London, our friends with Spotlight ANZ, we're going to come see you all again in about a month, or whether it's at unofficial events, like a big group sushi dinner, where earlier in the day, our engineers, product managers, and designers spent the day watching your team work in our software, while we asked you probably way too many questions about what you need the software to do differently. Because we can't build AI products with purpose if we aren't obsessed with your purpose and how you use the software. And to be clear, you've given us a lot of specifics, but nowhere have you been more specific than in those Relativity 1 in-app surveys. So I know you love them. We love to read them Monday morning with a bagel and coffee in hands. So let's get to it. You told us you really like the direction we're taking with usability updates to the document list page, but you've said Relativity, it's too slow. We heard you. We've been working with many of you the past several months in advanced access, and I'm happy to share with you today that the list page now loads in under 2 seconds median, which is even faster than the old version you're used to, while also including new improved visualizations and usability updates. We will make this the default experience in Relativity 1 starting November. What else? You told us, hey, Relativity, we get lots of value from name normalization because it allows us to find who is talking with who. But come on, we want to spend less time QCing the results of the AI so that we can spend more time using the results of the AI in areas like this, our new communication analysis. Again, we heard you. We're making updates to the AI model here to more intelligently merge email senders and recipients, with the first set of improvements coming next month. And you told us how helpful Relativity 1 sentiment analysis has been, as we've seen 150 groups this year run it on over 24 million documents to find examples of anger, desire, positivity, or negativity. But again, you said, Relativity, we like this and all, but we want you to refine the results even further because we want less noise and more signal. Well, we heard you. We're updating this model to further improve the accuracy of these signals, with the first updates shipping in the next few weeks to Relativity 1. And a special thanks to those in the crowd today who gave us ideas around overlaying sentiment results on top of communication analysis. We're actually rolling this out now across Relativity 1 regions for users who opt in, and it will be on by default in November.
And when it comes to searching, we also heard you. You can expect some major improvements by end of year. We're bringing ad hoc and saved searches together, consolidating them into a more streamlined experience and directly in the list page. No more relying on a modal to edit or create saved searches. And now I'm super excited to talk about Review Center. We envisioned this feature 2 years ago and worked with you over countless feedback calls. Just no sushi involved, or at least I didn't get an invite for it. It got lost in the mail. We obsessed with your purpose over these calls, to hone and refine this vision. We released it January of this year and have seen some great adoption. We're at about 4 million documents reviewed in Review Center queues, compared with about 11 for active learning queues in the same time. And with your proactive adoption, we're expecting that Review Center will surpass active learning in just a few months. With Review Center, we consolidated review management into a streamlined experience while making it as easy as just a few clicks to incorporate active learning's AI-powered prioritization into your review. And with our comprehensive reporting and visualizations, you can spot review and reviewer trends, letting you diagnose and fix problems sooner. And coming November this year, we're releasing our most requested Review Center feature yet, validation. With this feature, you'll be able to statistically validate that your prioritized review is done. And as we continue to transform experiences with you, Review Center will play a central role in how and where we incorporate new AI technologies, like the one that Chris is about to talk next.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you're interested in where Miguel gets his jewelry, meet him after the show. His Relativity jewelry. Folks, GPT has taken the world by storm. Just a few years ago, GPT-2 couldn't answer a question on the bar exam. GPT-3 didn't know better than really random guessing. Now, this March, GPT-4 came out and scored in the top 10% of all test takers on the bar exam. That's a massive improvement in capabilities in a short amount of time, and we all know GPT-5 is around the corner. And other large language models as well. They have not just performed well in the sphere of law. GPT has performed well across a whole wide variety of different types of information and content. And that makes this capability extremely useful for folks in our industry as well as many other industries out there. And yet, what is exciting about this is that it's also just the beginning. How do I know that? For a variety of reasons, but one in particular close to home is my 17-year-old son still actually outscored GPT-4 in a number of these college placement exams. The industry is already seeing great productivity improvement opportunities as a result of this technology, really anywhere in knowledge work. And so it's clear we are indeed at an inflection point. This inflection point will transform the way we do work in this industry and other industries. It's kind of humbling to think that the AI we're seeing today is actually the worst it's going to be. It's going to be even better tomorrow, and the pace is going to be in months and quarters, not years. That's why we're introducing Relativity Air, to meet this new inflection point and usher in the next generation of AI solutions in our industry. We've incorporated the latest generative AI technology into thoughtfully designed products built for your most important use cases, and with the intent of putting you in the driver's seat each and every step of the way. Now, to tell you more about Air for Review, our first product built on this technology for the most important use case in our industry, please welcome up Elise and Aaron.
Hi. Hello. Good morning, everyone. All right. Air for Review is our new product experience that will use natural language, AI-powered predictions to augment your entire review. Whether it be in gaining early case knowledge or accelerating first-pass review or locating those hot documents, Air will provide you newfound review speed and clarity, all with defensibility and control at scale. Now let's break that down. By review speed and clarity, we mean the way you can use natural language to direct error, which will uncover transparent insights in far less time. By defensibility and control, we mean being fully integrated into Relativity 1, so you can monitor, audit, and validate your review. And by scale, we mean analyzing thousands of documents, all as powered by Azure's OpenAI services. Okay, so let's check it out. Air for Review will be at the center of your documents so you can analyze any data on the fly. First, what are you looking for Air to do? Locate responsive documents, key documents, issue tag. We'll make all of these analyses available for you. You'll also be able to review the results in Review Center so you can combine Air with streamlined administration and reporting. Next, Describe the matter. What is the review about? Who are the parties involved, the key people, and other noteworthy terms? AIR uses this synthesized review protocol to analyze every document, every sentence, every word. Next, describe the responsive criteria, the key document criteria, and set up that review center queue so you can review the results as soon as they're available. Okay, now AIR is ready to analyze all those documents. It's going to use all of the information you just provided to do so. And let's talk about the results. AIR will predict every document, in this case, on whether it's responsive, whether it's key or hot. And not only that, it will cite excerpts from the documents to support its predictions. It will provide rationales explaining why its predictions are correct, and it will suggest other information you should look at that would make its predictions wrong. These rationales, these considerations are all naturally written, allowing your legal teams to readily use them to uncover new issues, investigative paths, or sources of risk. And this analysis will be available in the viewer as well. First, we'll integrate AIR into the coding panel, so you can code your review field with the AIR prediction in one click, if you approve. We'll also overlay those citations on the document so you can quickly navigate and focus on the most salient parts. And then we'll also make those rationales, those considerations, available for you to reference to. Now, AIR may not always get its predictions correct. And when that happens, you can comment back to AIR, adding clarification or context, and AIR will redo its analysis on the fly. Once that analysis looks correct, you can incorporate your most recent comments into the AIR review protocol. This AIR review protocol is the center of a brand new AI human feedback loop. So to wrap up, AIR for Review will provide you clear insights with an experience that will massively bridge the way you want to work and the technology. Aaron, tell us more about the approach we took in building AIR.
Now that you've seen a little bit about the what, we're going to take a moment and we're going to talk a little bit about the how. At Relativity, we build AI with purpose, your purpose. And we take a measured approach to building AI. We've been investing in large language models for several years, whether it's for the purpose of identifying privilege, supporting the identification of personal information in a data breach response, or translating documents. We've been testing prototypes of the AIR review product since January. And as excited as we all were by the release of GPT-4 in March, a model by itself is not a product. So we set out to build the right product. And we started the AIR for Review Advanced Access program in April. First, we conducted a careful security and privacy review of the GPT-4 service offered on Microsoft Azure, because your data security and privacy matters. Now I want to point something out. We used real customer matters because we wanted to understand how the product would work for our customers' data, not Enron. Our initial... Okay, I guess we've seen enough of those demos. All right, our initial test had 6 different customers and 10 different matters. We're going to be expanding throughout the rest of the year. So far, we've compared the predictions from the product against first pass review over 50,000 times. We've taken a second look where the model predictions and the first pass reviewers disagreed, and with experienced attorneys, we did additional examinations 5,000 times. The performance of AIR has been consistently valuable. But let me share one remarkable example as a preview of where we believe this product is going. In a real matter, with no feedback, we achieved 85% precision and 98% recall. Now, to achieve these results more consistently each time, we've designed contextual and collaborative feedback loops into the product experience to improve its quality over time, all while ensuring your data remains private and secure under your control in Relativity 1.
So your reaction to all of this may be, what got you here won't get you there. But let me modify and expand on that. What got you here will get you there. Yes, Generative AI, large language models will transform review, but only as harnessed by administrators' best practices, attorneys' clear and concise communication, and most importantly, the wonder and curiosity that got you here.
Thank you, Elise and Aaron. I want to say AIR is going well beyond just AIR for review. We're working on developing a product to help you develop out-of-the-box models, working on AIR for privilege, also working on ways to support case strategy with generative AI. You'll hear more about that around the show floor, but there's a lot more coming, so stay tuned. With that, I want to leave you with, for the rest of the conference, be challenged, be inspired, be curious, take this home, take your homework home, try to apply it, and challenge us. And to take us home today, David Mead, please welcome back to the stage.
Wowee, some absolutely incredible releases, some phenomenal brand new innovations, but I know what you need right now is some breathtaking caffeine. So, I want to remind you, we've got a 10-year anniversary judicial panel starting at 1 p.m. Do not miss it. Don't forget to take part in our Quest if you want to win some merchandise and swag. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Swipe right, I know. But right now, go get some coffee and some caffeine. We'll see you back a little later. Enjoy the rest of the event, everyone.